I tend to focus on a smaller number of things. And as an entrepreneur, I felt the constant pull of new opportunities emerging and constantly having to evaluate, okay, new opportunities, is that a better opportunity than what I'm currently focused on? And I've just, Visio, we only do one thing. And we're actually unusual in the country that we only do one thing. We finance single family rental properties. We've had lots of other opportunities come at us over the years. Many of them have been very attractive. And we try to be thoughtful about, I think of it as like a sandbox. I try to define my sandbox and what it is, what's inside of our sandbox, so that I can thin slice. If something is outside of the sandbox, I can very quickly say, no, that's not for us. When I started to work in, as an entrepreneur and building, these two businesses that I've been involved with, we had a much more heterogeneous work environment in terms of what motivated people, and learning to become a much more intuitive and empathetic leader, where I could actually, instead of asking people to meet me where I am, I learned to actually try to understand where they are and meet them there. That was very critical. When I led people at JP Morgan, I understood everybody because they were wired exactly like me. I knew what would motivate them, and I knew what would discourage them. And so it was not complicated. But for me, developing that soft skill, that idea of being able to still be authentic, but to meet people in the way that they need to be met, is incredibly important. I made mistakes. I made plenty of them. I got the wrong people on the bus with me. Jim Collins in Good to Great talks about getting the right people on the bus and the wrong people off the bus. And at times, as an entrepreneur, I would rush the hiring process. I just learned that making a hiring mistake is incredibly costly. It takes a long time to figure it, sometimes, not always, but it takes a while to figure it out. And then it becomes very painful in dealing with it. I think for me, one of the things I did, and we've now had in place for a number of years, is I slowed the hiring process down. And I think I picked this up. I believe I listened to a podcast related to Zappos and how Tony Hsieh was handling hiring at Zappos. And it was a very intentional process that was like methodical in terms of it slowed it down. My directive to our recruiters was, I want athletes. And when I say athletes, what I was really looking for was people who had demonstrated intelligence, ability to learn, curiosity to learn, that we could bring into the organization, and we would start a program that would bring them in at the bottom, train them in tasks. As they became familiar with tasks, they would then start to learn about the more nuanced issues associated with the business, and we would move them into roles of increasing expertise. And so, what I told our recruiters, as I said, it can be a recent high school graduate or a recent college graduate. I'm looking for somebody who has demonstrated intelligence and ability to learn. I want readers. I want people who like to play board games. I want people who have a certain kind of creative bend to them, and find those types of people. And but importantly, find people who have demonstrated ambition. I love that we have a successful business, but more than anything, it's so much fun when I spend time with one of our senior leaders, and I think to myself, I remember when this person started in an entry-level role for us, and today they manage 25 people that make some of the most important decisions in our business. It's the part that, I probably take the greatest level of satisfaction from. And I've said this, for years in our business. I just want our team members, when they leave our organization, that they leave it better. I don't expect them to join us forever, but I want them to have left with good experience